Do you ever wonder how ancient wisdom can transform your modern life? Welcome back to Stoic Reflections, where we dive deep into timeless philosophies that shape human behavior, emotional intelligence, and societal influence. In today's video, we're exploring Master the Art of Strategy and Influence Stoic Wisdom for Modern Life, uncovering 16 profound secrets from the legendary Guiguzi. These teachings, passed down through millennia, have shaped some of history's greatest minds, strategists, philosophers, and leaders alike. Whether you're seeking personal growth, professional success, or a deeper understanding of human dynamics, this video will equip you with actionable insights to navigate life's complexities. Let's embark on this journey together. Observing the trends of the world. The person who wishes to take control of their destiny must first learn to observe the trends of the world. The flow of events is akin to the ocean's waves, driven by the wind of time. Understanding these movements allows one to ride the tides of change effortlessly. As Guiguzi taught, mastering the art of timing and momentum is essential for achieving greatness. Those who align themselves with the natural rhythms of the universe can influence nations and shape destinies. Conversely, those who act against the tide often find themselves swept away by forces beyond their control. Deciphering the hearts of others. To truly understand someone, one must listen carefully to their words, observe their expressions, and analyze their actions. This principle extends beyond individuals to entire nations. By studying political climates, economic conditions, and social dynamics, one can predict the rise or fall of empires. Above all, the key lies in gauging public sentiment, for the pulse of the people reflects the fate of a nation. A ruler who loses the trust of their subjects is like a ship without a rudder, destined to drift aimlessly. Strategy before action. In the game of Go, each piece remains inert until placed on the board. Similarly, every decision in life requires careful planning before execution. A single misstep can lead to loss of resources or even catastrophic failure. Therefore, always strategize thoroughly before taking action. This principle applies not only to warfare but also to personal and professional endeavors. Success belongs to those who think ahead and anticipate challenges. The balance between cunning and morality. Cunning tactics without moral guidance often lead to ruin. History is filled with examples of those who pursued power at any cost, only to face dire consequences. True wisdom lies in balancing cleverness with integrity, ensuring that one's actions benefit both oneself and society. Guiguzi emphasized that true mastery comes not from manipulation, but from aligning one's intentions with universal principles. The 4 stages of enlightenment. Enlightenment unfolds in 4 stages: hearing the Tao, understanding it, seeing it, and finally embodying it. Confucius exemplified this journey when he sought wisdom from Lao Tzu, transforming his knowledge into practical philosophy. Such profound realizations remind us of the transformative power of true insight. Each stage builds upon the last, guiding individuals toward a deeper connection with the universe and themselves. The essence of Tao and technique. Every discipline encompasses both Tao principle and technique. In warfare, techniques aim for victory, while Tao seeks peace and harmony. A masterful strategist avoids unnecessary conflict, resolving disputes through diplomacy rather than force. This duality teaches us that technical skills are meaningless without a guiding philosophy. True mastery lies in integrating both aspects seamlessly. The art of persuasive speech. A skilled speaker can sway hearts and minds with eloquence. Their words flow like water, compelling others to act against their will. Even in silence, they command attention, proving that sometimes what isn't said holds more weight than what is. Guiguzi believed that persuasion is not about manipulation, but about inspiring others to see the truth within themselves. The best communicators leave a lasting impact without uttering a single word. Viewing the world with intuition. True observation transcends physical sight. It involves intuition and deep contemplation. Like viewing a mountain from afar, one doesn't need to climb its peak to grasp its essence. Perspective matters more than proximity. This lesson reminds us to step back and view situations holistically, avoiding tunnel vision that clouds judgment. The Three Paths of Dao. Dao encompasses three realms: heavenly Dao governing universal laws, sage Dao guiding societal order, and human Dao shaping individual conduct. These paths intertwine, forming the foundation of existence. Understanding their interdependence allows one to harmonize personal goals with collective well-being. Guiguzi urged his disciples to embrace all three paths, recognizing that true wisdom arises from balance. The Art of Persuasion. Effective communication adapts to the listener. Speak to the wise about knowledge, to the powerful about influence, and to the humble with humility. Tailoring your message ensures resonance and impact. Guiguzi taught that persuasion is an art form, requiring empathy, timing, and precision. Mastering this skill opens doors to opportunities and fosters meaningful relationships. Calming the human spirit. Chaos arises from unchecked desires. To stabilize society, one must first calm the human spirit. But addressing external symptoms is insufficient. True resolution comes from nurturing inner peace. Guiguzi likened this process to taming a wild horse. Gentle yet firm guidance yields the best results. By cultivating tranquility within, one creates ripples of harmony in the outer world. Decision-making mastery. Life revolves around choices. Some decisions are straightforward, while others demand careful deliberation. Prioritize actions that yield mutual benefits and minimize harm. Guiguzi advised weighing options based on long-term consequences rather than short-term gains. This approach fosters resilience and clarity, enabling individuals to navigate uncertainty with confidence. The philosophy of the sword. Swords symbolize different virtues depending on their wielder. A sage's sword embodies morality, a ruler's sword unites people, and a commoner's sword serves mere utility. Each reflects the wielder's character and purpose. Guiguzi used this metaphor to illustrate how tools and talents derive meaning from the user's intent. Aligning actions with noble purposes transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary achievements. The art of opening and closing. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is an art. Words carry immense power. They can bring fortune or disaster. Mastery lies in discerning the appropriate moment for each. Guiguzi warned against speckless speech, emphasizing that silence often speaks louder than words. By practicing restraint, one cultivates respect and authority, overcoming inner obstacles. Everyone faces internal barriers, whether rooted in arrogance or insecurity. Self-awareness is the first step toward overcoming these hurdles. Only by addressing our flaws can we achieve spiritual elevation. Guiguzi encouraged his students to confront their weaknesses head-on, viewing them as opportunities for growth rather than sources of shame. Understanding humanity. True self-awareness leads to understanding others. Recognizing external patterns is easier than confronting internal struggles. Yet, this introspection is crucial for personal growth and meaningful relationships. Guiguzi believed that compassion stems from self-knowledge, fostering connections that transcend superficial differences. 3 communication formulas from Guiguzi. 1. Confidence when speaking to authority figures. Approach influential individuals with poise and authenticity. Avoid flattery or arrogance, maintaining a respectful demeanor. Confidence signals competence, earning admiration and trust. To sincerity when engaging wise individuals. Be genuine when conversing with knowledgeable people. They value honesty over pretense. Sincerity fosters mutual respect and enriches intellectual exchanges. 3. Caution when dealing with petty individuals. Avoid discussing finances or sensitive topics with untrustworthy people. Maintain boundaries to protect yourself from exploitation. Prudence safeguards relationships and reputation. 4 things men should be frugal about. 1. Time. Time is irreplaceable. Use it wisely to build a fulfilling future. Procrastination leads to regret, while discipline paves the way for success. 2. Emotions. Guard your heart carefully. Invest emotions in worthy causes and trustworthy individuals. Emotional generosity without discernment invites pain. 3. Money. Spend wisely and save diligently. Financial prudence ensures stability and opens doors to opportunities. Avoid impulsive spending that jeopardizes long-term security. For self-indulgence. Resist the temptation to indulge excessively. Discipline strengthens character and fosters resilience. Moderation prevents complacency and fuels ambition. 6 types of people to avoid. 1. Disrespectful individuals. Those who mistreat family lack basic decency. Associating with them risks betrayal and disappointment. 2. Calculative individuals. Constantly calculating favors strains relationships. Generosity should flow freely, not be metered meticulously. 3. Harsh-tongued individuals. Sharp words wound deeply. Surround yourself with positivity to nurture mental health. For weak-willed individuals. Cowardice hinders progress. Seek companions who inspire courage and determination. 5. Unsympathetic individuals. Lack of empathy isolates. Build connections with compassionate souls who uplift and support. 6. Malicious individuals. Evil intentions poison environments. Distance yourself from toxicity to preserve peace and integrity. Characteristics of betrayers. 1. Helping for personal gain. Beware of those who assist solely for recognition. Genuine kindness stems from altruism, not ulterior motives. To jealousy and contempt. Envy breeds resentment. Steer clear of individuals who cannot celebrate others' successes. 3. Selfish pursuits. Greed corrupts relationships. Loyalty fades when transactions replace genuine bonds. In summary, Guiguzi's teachings offer timeless wisdom applicable to both ancient and modern contexts. From mastering strategy to cultivating emotional resilience, these principles empower individuals to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. We encourage you to reflect on these lessons and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could inspire others on their journey. Before you go, stay tuned for an exciting discussion featuring Ethan and Sophia, two brilliant guests who will delve deeper into the philosophical implications of Guiguzi's strategies. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your understanding further. Thank you for watching Stoic Reflections. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Together, let's explore the boundless realms of wisdom and truth. Until next time, take care and keep reflecting.
All right, ready to dive deep. Today, it's Guiguzi, the OG strategist.
Oh yeah, this guy, his advice is ancient, but so relevant. It's crazy.
Like Sun Tzu, but with an extra layer of, I don't know, wisdom, I guess.
Exactly. And the thing is, Guiguzi was writing in ancient China, but it's like he saw our modern world coming.
Right. So for this deep dive, we're using this awesome YouTube video as a guide. It's called Master the Art of Strategy and Influence Stoic Wisdom for Modern Life.
From a channel called Stoic Reflections, they break down 16 key principles from Guiguzi. Seriously, some of this stuff blew my mind.
Same here. And we're going to unpack these principles and, try to see how you can actually use them.
Whether you're, I don't know, trying to get a promotion or start a business or just figure out how to be a better human.
Okay, let's kick things off with observing the trends of the world.
Right, this is huge. Guiguzi compares the flow of events to ocean waves.
Always emotional.
Always in motion. And if you can't read those waves,
Yeah.
you're going to wipe out.
Great analogy. But how do we actually read the waves in our own lives? Like, do we need a crystal ball or something?
Uh-huh. No crystal ball needed. Just, keen observation. Guguzzi was all about understanding the flow of events, the underlying currents that drive change.
So like technology changes, politics shift, fashion comes and goes, right?
Everything's always in flux. But the key is to look beyond the surface, discern the patterns.
That's the tricky part though, right? I mean, there's so much information out there. How do we even know what to focus on?
Well, let's say you work in marketing. What are the trends popping up in your industry? Are there new platforms everyone's talking about? What about consumer behavior? Is that changing?
I see. So it's not just about absorbing information. It's about analyzing it and connecting the dots.
Yeah, almost like a game of chess. You've got to be thinking a few moves ahead, anticipate what's coming next.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's be real. Don't you need a little bit of cunning to get ahead in today's world? I mean, everyone's trying to outsmart each other.
That's a good point. And that's where Guguzzi's next principle comes in. The balance between cunning and morality.
Okay, so it's not enough to be clever. You got to use that cleverness for good.
Right. He was big on aligning your actions with integrity. If you think about it, history's full of examples of super smart strategists who were also ruthless.
And their legacies kind of tarnished.
Oh,
right?
exactly. So the question is, how do we make sure we're being both wise and demoral?
That's a big one. So how do we do that?
Well, Guguzzi would say it starts with strategy before action. I know it sounds obvious.
But do we actually do it?
Most of the time, no. We jump right in.
Yeah.
But Guguzzi used the game of Go as an analogy.
Oh, I get it. Like every move you make in Go has consequences, right? One wrong move and it messes up the whole board.
Exactly. So he's reminding us that planning is essential. And not just logistics, but thinking ahead, anticipating obstacles, knowing when to push forward and when to step back.
So whether you're launching a product or just having a tough conversation, taking the time to strategize can really make a difference.
Absolutely. And going back to what we were saying earlier, that strategy should be informed by your values, your moral compass.
Makes sense. Okay, so Guguzzi also talks about these 4 stages of enlightenment, which sounds a little more philosophical.
It is, but stick with me.
Yeah.
Think of enlightenment as a staircase. Right?
Okay, I'm picturing it.
So the first step is hearing about the Tao, that natural order of the universe, the underlying principles.
Right.
Then comes understanding the Tao, grasping its essence.
Okay, got it. What's next?
The third step is seeing the Tao in action, like recognizing it in everyday life.
And finally,
Embodying the Tao, living in alignment with those principles. So it's a journey of learning, but also self-discovery.
it's about connecting to something bigger than yourself, right?
Yeah, and integrating that wisdom into your actions.
Yeah.
It's not just knowing it, it's living it. Guguzzi believed true mastery comes from this alignment with the Tao.
Okay, I'm starting to get the bigger picture. It's not just tactics. It's this deeper wisdom and integrity.
Exactly. And this leads us to Tao and technique. He used warfare as an example here, which is interesting.
Okay, warfare. How does that fit in?
Well, Guguzzi argued that the ultimate goal of warfare, according to the Tao, should actually be peace.
Wait, so even in the midst of conflict, the goal is peace. How does that even work?
He's saying true victory isn't about just defeating your opponent. It's about restoring balance and harmony.
So even when things are tough, we should always aim for a better world.
Exactly. And that brings us to the art of persuasive speech. Guguzzi was a master communicator, and he knew that language has power to influence.
This is something I struggle with sometimes. How do we become more persuasive?
Guguzzi would say it's about understanding your audience and tailoring your message to their needs, but also knowing when to speak and when to be silent.
So it's not just about being eloquent, it's about being strategic with your words.
Right, and that includes silence. A well-placed pause can be super effective.
Makes sense. Okay, now for one of the most interesting principles. Viewing the world with intuition. So we're talking gut feelings here.
Yes, it's about that deeper level of understanding, the one that goes beyond your 5 senses.
But we live in a world that values logic and reason, right? So how do we trust our intuition?
Guguzzi encouraged his students to quiet the mind, look beyond the surface, and really listen to their inner voice.
So it's about stepping back from the noise, getting some perspective.
Exactly. Cultivate that inner knowing. It might come to you in whispers, but it's there.
This is incredible. I feel like we've covered so much, and I'm still just scratching the surface of Guguzzi's wisdom.
Me too. There's a lot more to explore, so we'll be back soon for part 2 of our deep dive into Guguzi.
Back again for more Guguzi. Last time we were talking about intuition, that deeper knowing that goes beyond just logic.
Right, and remember, this wasn't some mystical guru. Guguzi was all about strategy, real-world stuff.
Yeah, but he also understood that real power comes from understanding, well, ourselves and the forces around us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know, a chef who uses both precise measurements and a pinch of intuition to make something amazing.
Love that analogy. So speaking of bigger picture, what about this Three Paths of Dao thing? Sounds kind of complex.
It is, but it's so insightful. So bear with me. Think of it like this. There's the heavenly Dao.
Okay, the heavenly Dao.
That's the big one. The cosmic order, the laws of nature, Then there's the sage Dao.
Sage Dao, got it.
That's more about the principles that guide society,
Yeah.
rules and ethics, that kind of thing.
So how we live together peacefully, basically.
Right. And then finally, there's the human Dao. This one's about individual conduct, the choices we make every day.
Okay, so 3 layers of Dao, all kind of intertwined, like the sun and the moon and the tides, right?
The perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And Guguzi believed to truly master strategy, you need to understand how these 3 paths interact.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Act in a way that's good for the universe, good for society, and good for yourself.
Exactly. Now, this emphasis on balance, especially with emotions, does it make you wonder if it leads to detachment?
Kind of, yeah. Wouldn't it be harder to, I don't know, really connect with others if you're always holding back?
That's a great question, and Guguzi definitely thought about this. He wasn't saying to suppress your emotions completely, more like managing them wisely.
So not letting them control you.
Right, like taming a wild horse. You don't break its spirit, but you got to guide it so it doesn't run off a cliff.
So I can be passionate about my work, but not so invested that one setback ruins my whole week.
Exactly. It's about building resilience.
Wow.
That inner strength actually makes you more effective in the world.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how does this tie into decision-making mastery, which, we talked about earlier?
Well, Guguzi believed every choice we make, big or small, has these ripple effects. It's not just about what benefits us right now.
Right, got to think long-term, how it affects other people, even the world.
He wanted us to make decisions that benefit everyone, not just ourselves. Win-win situations whenever possible.
Okay, sunking bigger picture, which reminds me of the philosophy of the sword. That one's pretty metaphorical, right? What's the takeaway?
Think of the sword as a symbol of power. But Guguzi said the sword itself is neutral. It's the wielder's intention that matters.
Okay, interesting. So a good person uses a sword for good, a bad person for bad.
More nuanced than that, but yeah. In the hands of a sage, it's about morality, protecting people. For a ruler, it's unity, defending the nation.
And for a regular person?
It's practical, self-defense, maybe a tool for their craft. So the question is, what are your skills? How are you using them?
Wow, okay, heavy stuff. So it's about taking responsibility for how our actions impact the world.
Exactly. And that brings us to the art of opening and closing. Mastering communication, knowing when to speak, when to be silent.
Ah, man, I need help with that. Sometimes I talk too much. Sometimes I wish I'd said more.
Guguzi understood that words are powerful. They can build up or tear down. So we got to be careful how we use them.
It's about being intentional, right?
And knowing that silence can be powerful too. A good negotiator knows this. When to push, when to listen, when to just shut up.
Creates space for reflection. Maybe the other person reveals something.
Exactly. It's about mastering communication. And that includes recognizing different types of people and adapting your styles.
So not everyone gets the same approach.
Right. Guguzi actually had 3 communication formulas. With authority figures, confidence is key. Be assertive, present your ideas clearly.
Makes sense. You don't want to seem timid when talking to your boss, for example.
Now, with wise people, sincerity matters most. Be open, honest, eager to learn from them.
Like a mentor, you want to absorb their wisdom.
And then there's the petty people. Guguzi's advice. Caution.
Oh, yeah, I've met those types. So what do you do?
Be guarded. Don't share too much. Be wary of their motives. It's about protecting yourself.
Basically, some people don't deserve our full trust.
He was big on discernment. Not everyone has good intentions. Be compassionate, yes, but also protect your own well-being.
It's like setting boundaries in relationships, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Choose your company wisely. Limit your exposure to negativity. That's huge.
Wow, this is so insightful. 3 paths of Dao, opening and closing. It's all starting to connect.
We're just getting started. There's still more to uncover in Guguzi's wisdom. We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive.
Back again! More Gluguzi wisdom coming your way. It's amazing how much we've already unpacked. From reading people to, like, mastering communication.
Right. But I think this last part, it's where it all comes together. Like, the inner work meets the outer strategies.
So becoming a master of yourself and the world around you, I'm into it.
Exactly. And I think we should start with overcoming inner obstacles, because it really sets the stage. Gluguzi knew that, sometimes our toughest battles are with ourselves.
Yeah, those inner critics, those doubts and fears we all have. I know for me, I tend to overthink things, which can be paralyzing.
Oh, I get that. But Gluguzi wouldn't see those things as weaknesses,
More like challenges to work through.
Exactly. Opportunities for growth. He actually wanted his students to, confront those shadows head on.
So instead of trying to ignore my overthinking, I should try to understand it.
Yeah. Figure out where it's coming from. It's like, instead of being controlled by that fear, you learn to ride it. Use its energy to your advantage.
Okay. That's a cool way to think about it. And it kind of connects to calming the human spirit, right? Finding peace even when things are crazy.
Right, because if we're always battling ourselves on the inside, it's going to show up in how we act in the world.
Our decisions, our relationships, everything.
Exactly. But when you cultivate that inner calm, well, you make better choices, you communicate more clearly, and you attract better outcomes.
It's like you need those challenges to grow stronger, but you also need an anchor to keep you grounded.
I love that. So true. And that inner strength is so important when dealing with other people, especially, well, the difficult ones. Remember Gluguzi's advice about the 6 types of people to avoid?
Oh, yeah. Those energy vampires. Not that we should be judgmental, but you got to recognize who's good for you and who's not.
Absolutely. Disrespectful, calculative, harsh-tongued, weak-willed, unsympathetic, malicious. These are the types Gluguzi warned about.
And you can find those types anywhere, right? Work, personal life, everywhere.
So it's about being discerning, knowing when to engage, when to set boundaries, when to just walk away.
Okay, so even if you're careful about who you let in, there's still a chance of, betrayal. What about those characteristics of betrayers that Gluguzi talked about?
Oh, those are important. He said to watch out for 3 main things. People who only help you for their own gain, people who are jealous or contemptuous, and people who are just plain selfish.
So those are the red flags. Not that we should be suspicious of everyone, but pay attention, right?
Exactly. Be observant. See how people's actions match up with their words. And remember, sometimes we betray ourselves.
Ooh, what do you mean by that?
When we compromise our values or act against our own best interests, maybe chasing quick rewards that hurt us in the long run.
Or staying in a bad situation even though we know we should leave.
Right. It's about staying true to yourself even when it's tough. But Gluguzi wasn't just about avoiding bad stuff. He also talked about how to live a good life. Well, that's where 4 things to be frugal about comes in.
Okay, tell me more about that. What are the 4 things?
Time, emotions, money, and self-indulgence. He said practicing frugality in these areas is key to, growth and a fulfilling life.
So it's not about depriving yourself. It's about being smart with your resources. Like, yeah, I might treat myself to something nice, but I'm not going to go broke doing it.
That's it. Find that balance. Make choices that align with your values and your long-term goals. And it's not just about material stuff.
What else?
Frugality with your energy, with your attention. Don't waste time on things that drain you or don't matter.
No gossip, no endless scrolling on social media.
Right. Gluguzi would say invest your time in learning, in things that feed your soul.
Choose what matters and let go of the rest. It all comes back to self-mastery, doesn't it?
It really does. Gluguzi believed that when you work on yourself, when you develop inner strength and wisdom, you become more powerful in the world.
Like master yourself, master the world kind of thing.
Exactly. And it's not about controlling others. It's about understanding how things work, both inside and out, and working with those forces skillfully. So what trends are you noticing in your own life? How can you use your intuition to make decisions? And most importantly, how are you using your talents to make a positive impact? Keep reflecting, keep learning, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of Gluguzi.